Sit here. Love your country. You have a very beautiful daughter. Trace Bacardi and orange for favore.
Instead of the same old line, get him pissed.
Bacardi, Bacardi!
Well, how about it?
Okay.
It's the Naked Vicar Show, starring Ross Higgins, Kev Goldsby, and Nolene Brown, with Colin McEwen and Julie McGregor.
In Sydney last night, after his triumphant one-man concert and slide showing, Kamal was jammed in the Opera House car park.
I was also rotten tomatoed, severely handbagged and egged on from a great height. Bloody chooks.
At the recent Perth conference, Labour Party officials were doubly jubilant when it was announced that, according to opinion polls, Gough Whitlam's public stature has risen.
Whereas Malcolm Fraser is very unhappy because his has dropped off.
And today, in what archaeologists have confirmed as being Canberra, a man announced he has created a Keep Your Politician Active club.
I made it on me lathe,
he said.
It's about 4 feet long with a bloody great spike through the end.
There is no news from Hobart today because we couldn't catch the pigeon. However, in Perth, a man who has been blind for years regained his sight after being struck on the head by a crate full of fish fingers.
It's a miracle, he said, when praising the 8 doctors who performed the unique operation.
At a country football game, a player had his ear bitten off.
Normally, I would have just taken his number.
The umpire said.
But he broke me pencil.
In Sydney today, Shane Gould was rushed to hospital suffering a massive overdose of muesli flakes.
Whilst I agree that muesli flakes are a good addition to anyone's diet,
the doctor explained,
they should be removed from the box before eating.
Speaking to Australian reporters through an interpreter in the remote kingdom of Brisbane, Mr. Joe Bielke-Peterson said,
"From now on, all those unemployed people who try to claim their social service checks will have to work for the government on public works. It was done in days gone by,"
he said,
"and I see no reason why we should not emulate the remarkable success of
the Burma Railroad Corporation,
Changi Proprietary Limited,
Stalag Inns,
and the Laughing Commissar Siberian Salt Cooperative."
Mr. Bielke-Peterson was speaking at the official heel-clicking in farewell for the first trainload of workers heading for sunny Camp Kingaroy. Just in time for the peanut harvest.
And now a word from the Labour Party.
Rubber thongs.
And a word from the Liberal Party.
Gucci shoes.
And from the National Country Party.
Rampant foot rot.
Tonight, Mrs. Marsh is coming. Who could that be?
I reckon that's Mrs. Marsh.
Well, let's see if it is Mrs. Marsh.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Marsh.
It's Mrs. Marsh.
I told you to be Mrs. Marsh.
Say hello to Mrs. Marsh, children.
Hello, Mrs. Marsh. What's your name?
Children tonight.
Now, you be good for Mrs. Marsh.
And make sure they clean their teeth.
I will. That's why I brought my Colgate Fluorogard. The fluoride penetrates the enamel to give a protective coating, just like the ink on this chalk. See?
But we took the old mole.
Fair go, Mrs. Marsh.
Good morning, Deirdre. It's a lovely day at number 14 Wombat Crescent. What's on at the 6 a.m. starters for breakfast?
Good morning, Mervyn dear. Lined up and ready to go. We have juice out of fridge by Orchie. Closely followed by milk out of carton by Daisy. Closely followed by egg out of shell by Chook.
What about Snags?
A late scratching Mervyn. Out of luck.
That's a blow, Deirdre.
Never mind, have a chop.
Negative, Deirdre. What's on the card of events for today?
You promised to trim the turf.
No can do, Deirdre. The victors had the dick.
Well, why don't you fix it, Mervyn?
If you will recall, Deirdre, it was your very own long-haired son who, whilst trying to impress a certain well-norked Francine, did render the mower useless when he ran over Neville, the tastefully decorative concrete aboriginal, kindly donated by a certain Neolithic mother of yours.
Don't speak of my mother in that fashion. She's a fine figure of a woman.
She certainly would be if she could get those knuckles off the ground. And shaved. More often.
If you're trying to provoke me, Mervyn...
Don't point that chop at me, Deirdre. Do not forget who is holding the chutney bottle. By the way, where is our good morning, get your haircut, Wayne?
Good morning, Dad. Any snags, Mum?
Sorry, dear. Have a chop.
Negative, Mum.
Listen, Puff, you'll have a chop and enjoy it.
You can stick your lousy chop right up your nostril.
Not in front of your mother, boy. Big and all as you are, I can still give you a go with my chutney bottle.
Now, boys, don't argue. I'll eat the chop.
Have some chutney, Deirdre. That reminds me, Wayne, was that you I heard playing the saxophone in bed last night?
No, Dad.
It was me, Mervyn. Did I wake you?
No, just an idle question. By the way, Deirdre, bring the wireless over. It's time for the replay of my commentary of last night's big race.
Must we, Dad? It's bad enough listening to you live over breakfast without listening to you on the radio.
Shut up, Wayne. Here it is now.
They're off to an excellent start, and horse number 2, that is 2, is going much faster than all the others, and will almost certainly win the race, and he has. Now, back to the studio.
How do you, get that funny tone to your voice, Dad?
Practice makes perfect, Wayne. More chutney, dear. Good evening. In a nationwide telecast just completed, the Prime Minister made a stirring plea for unity and outlined a new plan in the continuing fight against inflation.
The leader of the opposition said the plan was completely unworkable. Besides, he'd thought of it first.
The leader of the DLP said he found it unacceptable, and so did the other 2 members of his party.
The leader of the Country Party said he hadn't seen the telecast yet, and thinks he'd agree with it, but would check with the Prime Minister tomorrow.
And Bernard King gave him 9 out of 10 for hand gestures, but told him to part his hair in the middle to accentuate his cheeky eyes.
Now, we present edited highlights of Mr. Fraser's address to the nation.
Good evening, and thank you for welcoming me into your home. I want to talk to you tonight about the biggest problem facing all Australians, inflation. Now, inflation is an ever-present affliction for which a cure must be found. And my government, your government, our government is determined to declare flowers, war on this threat to our economic heritage and national future activity. My government, which consults closely with me and does everything I want, has resolved to be firm and steadfast last year, when I spoke to you on this matter, I said I am saying now that I, for one, firmly believe that we can hit this big inflation bouncer for a 6 right over the net. Now, your government, my government, our government, well, more mine than yours, to be perfectly frank, has decided that someone must suffer and bear the responsibility of this awful burden. And this is where you come in. Why me, the poor bloody voter, I hear you ask. Let me explain, basically. It's all the previous government's fault. And so, broadly speaking, my attitude is you all got your just desserts. However, I am a generous man and more than willing to overlook the nation's political preferences. But let us analyze in detail the problem in front of us. On the one hand, we have rising prices, and on the other hand, we have low productivity. The unions, under the leadership of that Mr. Hawke, have snubbed their noses to the rest of us and said to us quite... Tammy, will you please go? So, there you have it. The case for and against inflation. And what are we going to do about it? The solution is in your hands. Write your answers on the back of a stamped addressed envelope containing at least $2 and send it to this address.
Malcolm's Wheel, Parliament House, Canberra.
Thank you and good night.
I know. Don't tell me. You're a Sagittarian, right?
No.
And you're a Libran.
No.
I know. You're an Aquarian.
No.
And what are you?
A lesbian. Surprise!
Oh, g'day, Lois. Jess, you're looking tired.
You're not wrong, Narelle. Stan and I had something of a celebration last night.
You mean Stan finally, you know?
Yeah, well, just before we went to bed, I could see he had that old familiar gleam in his eye.
Yeah?
I knew it was a possibility when he borrowed me cool charm.
Wow.
So I whipped on a bit of topaz, took the rollers out,
Yeah, go on.
and suddenly there he is, framed in the doorway of the ensuite, wearing his souvenir of Dunk Island nightshirt, and enough Old Spice to make the budgie cough.
And?
Saunters over to the bed, Leaves the light on.
Well.
Slips between the sheets.
And?
Flakes. So much for our big night out for the 25th anniversary.
Where'd he take you?
Truck show.
Wow, 25 years of marriage.
Yeah, you get less for murder. Makes you think, doesn't it?
Does it?
Yes.
Well, don't you want to know about my big night?
What big night?
My big night, you know, the one where I went out with the star of my choice.
Well, what about it?
Well, I won it when I was the millionth person to pick a jar of Gallipoli pickles.
I thought you were allergic to pickles.
I am. I thought they were hair rollers.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Anyway, I got a night out with the star of my choice.
Who'd you pick?
Stuart Wagstaff.
Why?
Well, we're both the same type, you know. Intelligent, charming, sophisticated, witty, you know.
You?
Well, I can turn it on when I want to.
Yeah, well, what happened?
Well, they sent around a chauffeur-driven Mercedes to pick me up and take me to the restaurant where I was going to meet him.
Bonsoir, monsieur, madame. Jean-Claude. A nice table for this table, please.
But of course you have a... Good evening, madame. Monsieur, this way, please.
Let me see. Good evening, mademoiselle. You have an umbrella?
Thank you.
You have an umbrella. Use it.
You just gave it to me.
This umbrella belongs to the...
But you just gave it to me.
Mademoiselle, please give me the umbrella.
Gave
No,
it to
mademoiselle. No, please give me the umbrella. Mademoiselle, please give me the umbrella.
Be Narelle Hudson. Good evening. You must be Narelle Hudson. I'm Stuart Wagstaff. How do you do?
Yeah.
Go on.
It's fine.
Perhaps you'd like to take your coat off.
Oh, yeah.
Gracious, what is this?
It's a Myers bag.
Yes, I can see, but what have you got in it? A couple of house bricks?
Yeah.
Why?
Flashes.
Oh, you mean...
Men have been known to assault girls off me.
No. Perhaps Maurice would help you with your coat, yes. Oh.
I came straight from work.
No, it's charming.
The bank supplies and...
This wine. A drink?
Oh, thanks. You trying to get me pissed or something?
No, I'm not.
Don't forget, I got my bricks.
How could I possibly forget? Perhaps Maurice would show us to our table.
Certainly, Mr. Wagstaff. This way, please. This way? Thank you.
It's mine. I gave it to you.
But of course. This way, please, Mr. Wagstaff.
Narelle, are you ready?
This way, please, Mr. Wagstaff.
Oh, you seem to have caught your umbrella in the trolley. Let me see if I can get it off for you.
Sorry.
No, don't pull too hard. That's right.
Oh! Sorry.
No, it's all right. No, don't walk back. No.
Jeez, it was good.
What you have for dinner?
Nothing.
Why?
Got chucked out.
They wouldn't chuck Stuart Wagstaff out, would they?
Oh, no, just me. But you know Stuart, a real gentleman. He wears cufflinks and everything. Well, Stuart and I went back to my place.
You got Stuart Wagstaff back to your flat?
Yeah.
What happened?
I burnt the cheese on toast.
Ah.
And while I was changing into something, slipping into something comfortable, you know.
Yes?
He got away. He must have picked the lock or something.
Oh, well, never mind, Narelle. The ocean's full of fish.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye. Full of fish.
Trust British paints?
Well, how long is it since we've had a lunch, eh, Paul?
Now you're asking. It's been an age.
Yes, a long time. It has been an age.
An age.
An age.
An age.
An age.
An age. Yes. I must say, it's nice to be back in Australia.
Been away, have you?
Yes. Funny you should ask. Tokyo. Business, you know.
Really? I just got back from Moscow myself.
Oh, good. Did you know that Tokyo has the highest population density in the world?
Yes, I did know that. It's the people, you know.
Yes, I know.
Do you know that Moscow has an incredibly high rate of alcoholism?
Yes, I did. It's the vodka, you know.
I know.
Yes, so do I. Did you know that the Japanese dancing frog is considered so holy it can only be eaten by novice Shinto priests in the dark hour before dawn?
Yes, I did know that. Did you know that the Siberian hunting duck can run at speeds in excess of 200 miles an hour and has teeth that can snap a man's leg?
Yes, I did know that. Did you know that the Peruvian tree-climbing dog will only lay its eggs in half a kerosene tin lined with old Bing Crosby records?
Yes, I did know that. Everybody knows that. Did you know that the V8 engine was designed by two New Guinea Highlanders on a wet Sunday afternoon in 1765?
Yes, I did know that. I think it's fairly common knowledge. Did you know that the moon was built by A.V. Jennings?
Yes, I did know that. My 6-year-old daughter knew that when she was 4. Did you know that the Chinese sneezing tribe used rubber handkerchiefs?
Yes, I did know that. Even my budgie knows that. And he's deaf. Do you know that Attila the Hun invented glad wrap and founded the Tupperware Corporation? Did you?
Yes, I did know that. And did you know that in Uruguay, on the 3rd of April every 3 years, a rogue bull elephant named Ashley emerges from the jungle, sits on Pablo Salvador's lawnmower, and plays Moon River through a nose flute? Did you know that? Did you? Did you?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Did you know that once every 3,000 years, a skydiving Manchurian yodeling nun with a bucket on her head crashes into this restaurant and beats to death the person sitting in that chair with a 4-foot banana? Did you know that?
Yes! Yes, I did know that!
I'm not here.
Oh, all right. When will you be back?
Never. I've eloped with Humphrey Bear.
Oh. Just a minute. Are you telling a joke on me?
Yes, Bruce. Bruce, what do you want?
Well, guess what happened to me today? Something wonderful. Something amazing.
No one set fire to you.
Yes. No.
I packed away my Annie Oakley tent.
Oh, you were sleeping out.
Yes, out in the laundry. It's a test for survival. Man against the wild wilderness. I'm in dum 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 whirlpool country.
Bruce.
Then, by dawn's first golden rays, I stepped from my ski jammies, took a deep breath, and I faint.
Why?
I got a nose full of fab. But soon I'm stalking the wilderness for my breakfast. Hark! My prey is at hand. Ooh, ooh! My toes quiver inside my knotty hunting socks. Lunge! Success! I've speared a wheat fix. Mercilessly, I drown it in hot milk, and hungrily I devour it, pausing only to spit out a plastic Indian. Then I get dressed by myself and am ready to face the new day. But hold, something's different.
You put your pants on back to front.
Not today, for today is a very special day, Mrs. Jackson, full of excitement and surprises. There.
Golly, Bruce, that's exciting. An envelope.
What's it say on the front?
To Bruce.
For me! Gosh, what a surprise! Give it to me.
Eh?
Thank you. I wonder what it can be. To Bruce. Happy birthday from Mrs. Jackson. Ah, you remembered. Thank you, Mrs. Jackson. You're my really only truly friendly, truly friend.
It really is your birthday, Bruce.
Yes?
Yeah, well, what else did you get?
Nothing.
Oh, really? Well, what about your mum?
She said she didn't want to be reminded of the event. Just jumped on a motorbike and went to work.
Bit crook, isn't it, everyone forgetting?
I'll get my own back at them, Mrs. Jackson. I'll show them they can't just dismiss the twerp of Wombat Crescent as the twerp of Wombat Crescent. Oh, dear me, no. For by forgetting my birthday, they have unleashed my vengeance. And no one is safe from the curse of Bruce. There! I can see it all now.
Ease off.
Now from Kaiser, a new range of beautiful pantyhose. 10 new pantyhose, carefully coordinated for women with 10 legs or men with 5 wives. The new Kaiser collection. Beautiful pantyhose that make it easy to get exactly what you want.
Following the shock announcement that Bob Hawke has given up drinking, several other people have announced they're giving things up too.
Carlton and United Breweries have given up business.
Malcolm Fraser has given up his part-time job to become a full-time Qantas passenger.
Joe Bielka-Peterson has announced he'll give up politics to become a full-time advisor to the Prime Minister and Jimmy Carter and the Pope, and not forgetting his protege, God.
Kamal has given up music to have a go at singing.
The entire cast of Restless Years has given up television to try acting.
And finally, Mr. Lang Hancock announced,
I'm not going to give up anything. I'm going to blow it up, then sell it to the Japs, just like I did with Western Australia.
In Canberra today, Sir William McMahon was arrested for being found under Margaret Whitlam's dress.
In his defence, Sir William said,
I believe I took my children to see Disney on Parade, but I must have walked into the wrong tent.
He was found guilty as charged, and the judge sentenced Sir William to be hung by the neck until he's at least 4'6".
Meanwhile, in what Save the Whale campaigners described as an exception to the rule and should be destroyed immediately,
New South Wales,
a genetic scientist has crossed an Italian migrant with a telephone.
he got a public telephone that actually works.
The telephone was so successful that after 2 days, it had worked its ring off.
And at Fairbairn RAAF base, at a ceremonial fly-past to celebrate the introduction of 6 o'clock closing of Tammy Fraser's mouth, the Prime Minister became so excited that he stood up and was struck in the neck by a low-flying Mirage jet.
And as it was only 5 to 6, Mrs. Fraser took time off from talking to say,
Now, Malcolm, you really are a plane in the neck.
And in what Margaret Fulton described as a daggy pavlova,
the Sydney Opera House.
Famed opera singer Dame Robert Helpman broke his leg when he fell into the wings. The fall created an uproar, especially amongst the wings, who were sitting in the front row next to their cousins, the wangs.
But the evening was saved with the surprise appearance of famed ballet dancer Sir Joan Sutherland, who silenced the audience with her unexpurgated version of the Dance of the Seven Tarpaulins.
Following the immense publicity surrounding the World Cup soccer competition, Australia has decided to make a strong bid for the next finals. Australia's newly appointed coach, Bob Hawke, speaking through an interpreter, said,
Which, freely translated, means... He then went on to say... Mr. Hawke then removed the Prime Minister's hands from his throat and said...
Mr. Hawke then went on to explain why Australia would be a, quote, dead cert, unquote, to win the next World Cup.
Because we've got the best strikers in the world.
This is your life.
TV's on, Laurie.
Do we got to watch this?
Yes, it's This Is Your Life.
Starsky and Hutch is on.
No.
People get their heads blown off in Starsky and Hutch.
No.
Does Roger Clemson blow people's heads off?
No.
And what are we watching it for then?
Laurie, be quiet.
13 million people in Australia, and every one of them's been on This Is Your Life at least 8 times.
They have not.
They have so too. The only reason they haven't done us is because we're not in the telephone book.
Rubbish. There are hundreds of interesting people they haven't done yet.
Who's this then?
Skippy.
Looks like Billy McMahon. Why is he leaping up and down? Can't he reach the door handle? No wonder Sonia's got splits up the side of her dress. Keeps splitting the sides with laughing.
Will you be quiet?
All right, all right. Starsky and Hutch is on. Wonder how many cars they've smashed up so far. Should have seen last week. 28 cars they destroyed, massacred 19 gangsters, and hung a nun with rabies. Jeez, it was good.
Laurie, will you shut up? Roger's talking.
Yeah, Roger's always bloody talking. Why doesn't he kick someone for a change? Oh, hang on, who's that? Rolf Harris. What's he doing there? Is he going to kick someone?
Rolf Harris is a personal friend of Skippy.
Well, why is he crying? Did Roger kick him?
It's a very sentimental occasion. Rolf's overcome with emotion.
Skippy pooped on his foot.
We should be quiet when people are snotty with happiness.
Happiness? You call Rolf Harris reliving his school days with a demented kangaroo happiness? Oh, yeah. If Starsky and Hutch were there, they'd have his paws for bottle openers. They'd probably do the same thing to Skippy.
Laurie, we are not watching Starsky and Hutch. It's just violence, violence, violence. It turns children into homicidal maniacs. Now just shut up or I'll smash your teeth in.
Good, who's that?
Skippy's mum.
Hello, Roger's got his hanky up.
Roger is a sensitive human being.
Skippy's mum just pooped on his foot.
G'day, Mum. Dad.
Yeah.
Hello, Brian.
Oh, Billy McMahon.
Skippy.
Sonia's in for a shock. Starsky and Hutch is on.
Yeah, I know, but we got to watch this, because it's sad.
Who's this?
Skippy's mum.
Oh.
I wonder what Starsky and Hutch would do in a situation like this.
Are you a keen fisherman? How are they biting? And does the other guy always seem to have all the luck? What do you get? Old boots? Tin cans? And Philip Brady. But don't be gloomy. Toss away that old-fashioned fishing rod. And let K-Tel change your luck. Let K-Tel change your life. With this. The all-new, fantastic, miracle, space-age K-Tel Fishin' Magician. Now, fishing success can be yours. Yes, get all the fish you want, all the fish you need with the K-Tel Fishin' Magician. Order your K-Tel Fishin' Magician now. And you will also receive one free K-Tel Fish Gutter with built-in timer. One free K-Tel Miracle Boiled Egg. One free do-it-yourself K-Tel pedestrian crossing. One free K-Tel telephone booth. One free K-Tel rust-proof horse. Complete with a K-Tel miracle Pope. Yes, all this stuff free. Don't miss it if you can. The K-Tel Fishin' Magician, out now. Cassettes $5.99.
So that's it.
Well, if that's the way you want to look at it, yes.
So you're leaving me for another woman?
If that's the way you want to look at it, yes.
What about me?
You can't come.
Take off that sweater.
No, it's my sweater.
I knitted it.
You did not knit it, Erica. You assembled it. Your mother knitted it. I have the phone bill to prove it.
Who spent a week at the tech learning how to spin the wool?
Who spent a week at the jail for stealing the sheep?
All right, you keep the sweater, I'll keep the house.
Don't be ridiculous. The sweater's shrunk anyway.
So's the house.
Well, I didn't lay the foundations.
No, I bloody did.
I won't argue with that, Erica. You have full custody of the foundations.
I'm keeping the hi-fi.
All right. I'm taking the wedding photos.
Why the wedding photos?
Rhonda wants to know what you looked like. Once.
Let's not get personal about this divorce. Droopy.
Don't throw Droopy at me, Erica.
You threw it at me often enough. What about the children?
We don't have any children.
What about the cat?
He died 3 years ago. He's yours.
You're a monster, Chris. You always hated Tibby.
I did not hate him. I loved him like a brother.
Liar, you killed him.
I did not. How did I know he was asleep under the Victor?
mother.
I'm not taking her.
You never talk to me.
You never bloody listen. Now, let's be sensible about this, Erica. I'll take the car, the Black & Decker, the spear gun, and the hot rollers.
Hot rollers?
Yes, it's Rhonda's birthday tomorrow.
That's typical. You'd give away the only anniversary present you ever bought me.
I didn't buy it. They're Mum's. Dad won them in a chook raffle.
All right, Chris, all right. You take the hot rollers and the Black & Decker. I don't care. There's no sense in finishing the carport without the car anyway. But you listen, and you listen well. Once you go out that house, out the door, and into the arms of that other woman with the funny hair...
What?
I'm keeping Hot August Night.
I am?
You are not, I am.
Now, listen to me, Erica. If anyone should have claim to Hot August Night, it's me.
Why?
It's Rhonda's.
Oh, for Christ's sake, Chris, we've had Hot August Night for 3 years.
But you can't blame her for wanting it back.
You're despicable.
Now, you're taking all this too personally, Erica. I mean, just because I'm running off with another woman doesn't mean to say that I don't like you. We can still be friends. I mean, Rhonda and I have talked about this and, well, we've decided that we want you to be our bridesmaid. Well, matron of honour, actually. But for God's sake, don't catch the bouquet. That's how we got into this mess in the first place.
Oh, God, I can't stand anymore now. Just get out, Chris.
You're
go.
being unreasonable, Erica.
Just go now, please.
All right.
Hello, Rhonda. It's Erica. No, it's all right. I'm just ringing up to say I accept everything. Yep. Just remember, he likes his eggs runny. He's crazy about pavlovas. And when you're in bed together, call him Droopy. From Four Corners. And this week we present another depressing hour of unrelieved gloom as we take you round the trouble spots of the globe. A special satellite report looks at the tragic aftermath of the annual turnip muster in war-torn Beirut. John Penlington sends us a hard-hitting report on cushion stuffing in war-torn Thailand. Did ancient spaceman rolled pickled onions down the Andes? Peter Luck says yes. See his filmed report from a Sisters of Mercy sanatorium in war-torn Chile. But now, our first story. 385 rapes, 27 bank robberies, 102 muggings, 500 knifings, 2 strangulations, and 1 case of grandmother scraggings. These startling figures were revealed in a recent survey of just one family in Sydney's inner suburbs. What's to be done about the upsurge of child crime? Some sociologists prescribe a stable family life. Others say, shoot them. But this week, I investigated yet another solution, and here is my report. Here in the lonely bush is a unique school designed to teach children independence and to boost their self-confidence. So let's speak to the headmaster and sales manager of the Malley Route Bush Academy Proprietary Limited, Mr. Clifford Malley.
Yes?
Caroline Jones.
Can't stand the woman.
But I'm Caroline Jones.
Can't stand you either.
What about our interview for Four Corners?
Oh, just a minute. Lovely day.
Yeah.
Yes, well, I suppose you better come in. Wipe your feet and shut the door, woman. Damn flies.
Flies?
Yes, huge flies. Big as a football. Everywhere. I trap 'em and skin 'em and turn them into moccasins for tourists.
Mr. Malley.
Call me headmaster.
Headmaster.
It's headmaster to my friends and my wife and, of course, myself. I have a close personal relationship with myself. Have done for many years. But don't tell the Department of Social Security. I've been claiming myself as a dependent for the last 28 years. Get into your job, I say. What do you think, lad?
Well,
Good boy. You'll go far.
Headmaster, perhaps you could explain some of the unique features of the school.
Right. Well, here we have the school rope. Fascinating amenity. Keeps them amused for hours.
How?
Oh, the normal things, you know. They climb it, hit it, photograph it, smoke it. Of course, it's a vital part of our rope conservation classes. And the end-of-term lynching parties. Uppermost in my mind is safety for the boys here. And to that end...
Yeah, I've got you, Neville, you devil. Wait me a moment. Just about got him. Yes, well now, this is Neville.
Neville?
Yes, the school death adder. We once had a school Shetland pony, but never let him, didn't you, Neville? Say hello to Miss Corners, Neville.
Hello, Neville.
Yes, well now I think it's time we put Neville to bed in his little house. Excuse us, will you, for a moment? Come along now, Neville. Yes. Night, Neville.
So we have a bush training class.
Do you have a bush training class?
No. Because we insist on all the boys being bush trained before they come. Filthy little devils. Here at the Malley Roots Bush Academy, special emphasis is given on the boys being fully self-sufficient, being able to fend for themselves in the wild. To that end, we don't feed them at all, and they're given nowhere to sleep. Here, of course, is their lecturer in bush survival, Jackie Raftopoulos, the last full-blooded member of the ancient Pan-Hellenic tribe. Jackie teaches the boys fire lighting in the traditional way. And, of course, when the boys are hungry, Jackie teaches them to live off the land and select food from nature's own larder.
What about hunting?
Oh, good Lord, yes. Jackie can run a kangaroo to ground in 3 seconds, like a gazelle is. Herb Elliot and a lap-lap. Show Miss Corners how you can run, Jackie. Ready, setty, go.
Thank you, Mrs. Malley.
Headmaster.
And goodbye from Four Corners.
Goodbye, Miss Corners.
We interrupt this program for an urgent police flash. We interrupt this flash for an urgent police bulletin.
Thank you, Vicar 7. Good evening, suspects. Here is the alleged police message. At Russell Street HQ last night, there was movement at the station, for the word had passed around that the colt from Old Regret had got away and had joined the Wild Bush Horses. He was worth £1,000, so all the cracks had gathered to the fray.
VK7 to Sergeant Mackay, VK7 to Sergeant Mackay. Come in, please.
Pardon me, suspects. VK7. This is Sergeant Mackay on Mobile 1, Sergeant Mackay on Mobile 1. Mobile, it's the good oil. Sorry, receiving you loud and clear, VK7. 10-4, Rubber Ducky, Breaker, Convoy, Smoky Bear, Teddy Bear's Picnic. If you go down in the woods today...
Shut up!
Sorry, VK7. By the way, VK7, how's your wife, VK8?
Shut up and listen. Listen to me.
Sorry, VK7. Sorry, VK7. Will correct. Over, out, and under. Sorry, suspects. Wrong message. All citizens are warned that a man, extremely armed and legged, is currently at large. He is currently at large. Here is an identikit picture of the suspected felon. He has a mouth, which witnesses report has been painted on, a nose of the alleged Homo sapien variety, and a pair of strange but cheeky eyes. But like all identikit pictures, this is nothing like the actual suspect. Here is the real picture of the fugitive.
Okay, cue the chug.
Sydney, and fear grips the nation when, after an intensive manhunt, the rogue Ronald MacDonald is still at large and police are totally baffled. But things look hopeful when, in a surprising change of tactics, police call on internationally famous big game hunter and wombat wrestler, Harry Butler.
Right. Now we've got him cornered here. And with dangerous creatures like rogue Ronalds that you want to take alive, you have to lull him into a false sense of security and lure him out into the open with an irresistible bait. This is how we do it. Come on, fella. And here he comes. Now, this is the crucial moment. We have to take him alive, but we can't risk injuring him. So that means we can't use a gun, or a net, or a trap. So that means, yeah, that's right, we have to use the tranquilizing device. Watch closely.
And so, the manhunt's over, and the nation rests easy after weeks of tension, and a grateful nation salutes Harry Butler. God bless you, Harry.
Run, Ronald. You're free.
Following his recent overseas trip representing Australia at the Jubilee celebrations, Kerry Packer at the Commonwealth Leaders negotiations, and the Uranium Marketing Board at every other occasion, the Prime Minister revealed that he had secured some important export sales.
I knew those Europeans wanted our uranium, so I was damn tough with them.
He said,
for every 1 pound of uranium, I made them take
4 sherbet LPs.
a gross of K-Tel sheep crutcher and digital dartboards.
At least 28 feet of the Whitlam family.
The entire Arunta tribe.
Or Melbourne.
A pair of Don Dunstan socks.
Filled with Don Dunstan.
Frank Thring.
30 miles of the Hume Highway.
Ronald McDonald.
And the bloody Hamburglar.
An autographed copy of Tammy Fraser's 1001 yellow cake serving suggestions.
And any one of the following.
Joe Bielke Peterson.
Round the nation's temperatures, Darwin 38, Brisbane 34, Sydney 28, and Melbourne 24. Darwin meets Sydney in the final next week. Perth and Adelaide were disqualified for using Denka rub on their thermometers.
In Melbourne today, a man was charged with raping a tram.
When questioned by curious detectives, the man explained,
It's not my fault. The bus was ugly.
And here is a late news flash.
Today, in the remote area of Australia that police describe as Brisbane, the Leyland brothers, whilst searching for New Zealand, were attacked and eaten by a goanna called Denise. Concerned relatives are asked not to call because at last reports Denise was recovering well.
In Gotham City today, crime-fighting duo Batman and Robin were run over by a steamroller. We're not badly injured, said the Capes Crusaders, but we will be changing our names to Flatman and Ribbon.
Following the raging success of Don Dunstan's cookbook, many other public figures are planning to publish their own works.
Mrs. Flo Bielke Peterson has written a book for the country woman called Advanced Cane Toad Bottling and Wet-Ex Arrangement.
From Sonia McMahon comes a small volume of short stories entitled Bonsai Husbandry.
And from Doug Anthony comes a thoughtful essay for the destitute farmer, Gumboot Bottling and Indoor Sheep Arrangement.
Mr. Al Grasby offers us the care and grooming of show spaghetti.
And taking a retrospective look at his political career in Australia, Sir John Kerr's book is entitled Effective Crowd Control and Sprinting.
And finally, we learn of a new book in the making called Frowning is Fun, subtitled Smiling Gives You Cancer, by Malcolm Fraser.
Dad? Gordon's here.
Oh, hello, Mr. Brady.
Oh, Gordon. So glad you could pop in this evening. Well, eh?
Yes.
Well, look, I'll just leave you two alone to have a talk. Or...
No, it's all right, my dear.
Oh, no, look, honestly, Dad, I'd feel better. I'll put these in water and make us all a cup of tea.
Very well, my dear. Well, eh? So you're the lucky young man who's finally snared my Liz, eh?
Yes.
Yes, well, I suppose you better sit down.
Oh, thanks.
I wanted to have this little talk with you, Gordon, because I want to clear up some silly little niggling doubts and queries.
What, sir?
I mean, you are rich, aren't you?
No.
Moderately wealthy?
No?
Do you do the pools?
No?
Trifecta?
Oh, no.
Any gold in your teeth?
No?
Oh, well, it's not important. Last thing on my mind is Welther's rich opulence, retirement on my own deep-sea fishing boat in the Mediterranean. What is important, Gordon, is that you make my young Liz happy and that you love her, in spite of her problem.
Problem?
Oh, you've noticed. Tragic, isn't it? I'll say no more. You're a brave man, Gordon.
Oh, I don't understand, sir.
Liz, she's What? Crazy, demented, unhinged, mad as a cut snake. Nothing to worry about.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm exaggerating. It's nothing, really. Mad strain, passed down through the generations. Curse of the Bradys. Thank God it hasn't touched me.
Never noticed anything strange about Liz.
Well, there you are then, you see. Nothing to worry about. Most of the time, Liz is just as normal as you and I. Well, let's talk about something else, shall we? No dangerously ill rich uncles, I suppose?
No.
I suppose it must be very hard for you at university. All that studying. Lectures. Textbooks, all that sort of thing. Find it hard, do you?
I'm doing my finals this year, and then I'll go into practice for myself.
Scratch me here, would you? Scratch me here. Harder. Thank you, Gordon. I can't tell you how happy I am that you're soon to be a member of the family. And I look upon it, Gordon, not as losing a daughter, but gaining a son. And pretty soon, I hope that you'll make an old man happy by presenting him with a little grandson.
I've never really thought about a litter. Children.
Oh, yes. How silly of me. Early days yet. Why, I remember when the late Mrs. Brady and I were thinking about getting married. It was a most exciting... a most exciting time in our lives. We were so happy. Why, I remember... We were so happy. Of course, everyone was during the war. Why, I remember...
Look, I think I'd better be going, Mr. Brady. Tell Liz that I'm not ready to get married yet. I'll give her a ring next week, Mr. Brady, and thank you very much. I'll see you later, Mr. Brady.
Sorry I took so long. Dad, where's Gordon?
My poor baby.
Where's Gordon?
Gone, and good riddance, the swine.
Why? What
He
do you
broke
mean?
down under my questioning. He's been married 3 times, got 8 children, and was planning to sell you to a white slaver in Burma. Monster.
Dad! Oh, this is terrible. This is really awful.
Never mind, my dear. Why don't you go back into the kitchen and make a nice dinner for your old dad, eh?
I don't understand it. That's the 8th white slave of this month.
And now, a word from the Labour Party.
Beer.
And a word from the Liberal Party.
Gin and tonic, please.
And from the National Country Party.
Shape dip and bloody hurry up.
And finally, a word from the Workers' Party.
I don't care what it is, as long as it's someone else's.
In England, the men say...
I thought we might have a quiet dinner at the Savoy and then perhaps wander back to my place for the evening.
Oh, and in America, they say...
Look, why don't you and me paint the town red and then swing on over to my place for a nightcap?
And in France, they say...
Oh, chérie, we will dine on caviar and champagne. Then I must have you alone forever.
But it's nice to be back in Australia, where the men say...
What do you mean I can't come in sparkling? Shadow duck doesn't grow on trees, you know?
The Naked Vicar Show is an RS production for the 7 Network.